Hey everyone, and welcome to the Crossway podcast. My name is Josh, and today I wanted to spend some time talking about passion. Our church has just entered into a new sermon series called Make It Fun, where we have started to look at joy from a Jesus perspective. And something that has really been on my heart as we've begun this series is thinking about how we ignite passion in our lives for the things that we're wanting to pursue. Most of us have probably thought or heard something along the lines of, I just need to find my passion, or we've received advice like try to find and do things you're passionate about. And I think we just intuitively know that if we're passionate about something, then it's not only going to provide us with the staying power and the endurance that we need to accomplish whatever it is we're trying to accomplish, but it'll also be a joyful and fulfilling experience. Now, let me sort of tell you something I believe about passion, and this may seem like a bold statement, but I believe it to be true. Passion, I think, for the most part, is not intrinsic, it's developed. We can generate passion where there isn't any, and we can become passionate about the wrong things. Passion is primarily the result of steps and actions that we take. So for us as Christians, I think that means we can be called and gifted by God with a certain skill for a certain purpose, and yet find ourselves with no passion for what God has called us to do. Or on the flip side of that, I think it means we can be passionate about something that God has not in fact called us to. And in the New Testament, I think this is brought up again and again, right? The church being warned against following their passions that would take them into sin. And so what we think and what we do are extremely important factors when it comes to our passion levels. In their book called Passion and Reason, Making Sense of Our Emotions, the authors Richard and Bernice Lazarus say this. They say, when all is said and done, if human emotion were not dependent on reasoning or thought, we could never really make sense of anyone's emotions. If we know someone's emotional state, we should be able to reason backward to the conditions that must have been responsible, namely goals, beliefs, or an event that provokes the emotion. And so the reason that I think it's important to understand this connection between our passions, our passion level, our thought processes, and our reasoning, is because this means that we can actually be intentional about becoming passionate about our relationship with God and the things that He wants from us and what He's called us to. We can do things on purpose to affect the way that we feel about accomplishing God's plan for us. And this is vital because, like what we said earlier, when we're passionate about things, that gives us the joy and the excitement and the endurance to see those things through and to do them to the best of our ability. So I want to talk about two practical things that we can do to foster passion for our relationship with God and His calling on our lives in particular. As Christians, we believe that the most important thing, the reason that we exist, is to be in relationship with God and to live out His will for our lives. And so becoming passionate about those things, if that's all true, should be one of our top priorities, right? We should strive to keep that fire burning so that we can be motivated. So the first thing that I think we can do to become passionate followers of Jesus and passionate about our mission is to grow in knowledge of those things. Grow in knowledge of those things. This is probably one of the most underrated ideas, I think, in modern Western culture specifically, but learning is one of the main drivers of our emotional responses to things. When we feel a certain way about something, it's primarily because of the information that we have about it, right? So, for example, the reason you might be excited to go on a trip or a certain vacation is because of the knowledge that you have either about that location or about that kind of experience, right? It would be more difficult for you to be excited about something if you had no clue about it. And so one of the ways that we can begin to foster an active passion for God and his calling on our lives is to grow both in our understanding of who God is and to grow in our understanding of the gifts and of specifically the work that he has called us to. Right? The more we learn about God and the more we learn about the missional arena that he has placed us in, the more passionate we can become about those things. And we've talked about this before, right? People are usually most excited about the things that they know the most about. Look at sports, cooking, hunting, music. When your understanding is developed, passion begins to outpour. So if you've been excluding learning and gaining knowledge from your relationship with God or your pursuit of his calling in your life, I want to challenge you to go deeper and to always seek to learn more so that your passion and excitement can go deeper as well. Now, the second thing that you can do that sort of supplements this a little bit to kindle a passionate spirit for the kingdom of God is to surround yourself with other like-minded Christians. As your interest and your knowledge grows, it always seems like a natural next step for most of us to find people who are also growing and caring about the same things, right? There are entire Facebook forums specific to certain hobbies or areas of study or certain missions in order that like-minded people connect for the sake of fostering drive and passion amongst each other and to accomplish goals. And so now the beauty of the church is that this is built into what it means to be in the community of the body of Christ, right? Sunday mornings, groups, and other ministries church might have to offer are ways of doing this. And so I think if you're neglecting to participate in those things, I think you're doing so at the expense of your level of excitement and joy and passion for knowing God. Because it's in environments like this where you have the opportunity to be sharpened and to be inspired and to keep the flame of passion burning for God and his desires for your life. So church participation in particular, I think, is vital for your spiritual passion level. Now, to take it a step further, maybe you have a specific calling from God in your life that not necessarily every Christian is called to accomplish also. Find and connect with people who have that similar mission to you. And the internet and even Facebook, like I said earlier, really affords us lots of opportunities here. Get plugged in to a community of people that are striving for the same goals that you have so that you can really hone in on kindling the fire for your unique role in the kingdom of God. And not only will passion be contagious in these communities, right, because that's just the way they work, but you'll have built-in accountability, too, for the moments where maybe drive is low in your life or maybe growth in your life is stunted. You'll have people that can speak your language and can help you remain passionate about your calling and your relationship with God. And really notice that these steps that you can take, growing in knowledge and being in a community of like-minded people, really go hand in hand, right? Like a lot of this can happen together, and a lot of it will. But both are important, and I think both can help you become or remain impassioned about God and his calling on your life. Now, obviously, this isn't every step that you can take to develop your passion. Right, for God, your passion for God and your passion for his work. But I do think that these can serve as a good starting point and also as a good check for you, right? If you find yourself lacking passion, the excitement and the joy for the kingdom of God, ask yourself, what steps am I taking to grow in my knowledge of God? And to grow in my knowledge of the work and the gifts that he's given me? And what people am I surrounding myself with to foster that passion and excitement to see it through? I think if you begin to be intentional, right, you stop thinking of passion as just an emotion that you need to find, but instead think of it as something that you build. I think if you begin to be that intentional about taking those steps to keep that fire burning in your calling and your relationship with God, it'll be more difficult for you to just lull or stagnate without realizing it. Well, thanks, guys, for listening so much. If you are interested in hearing more episodes of the podcast, you can find those on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel or on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any of your favorite streaming platforms. If you're interested in watching the first message in this series, you can go to our YouTube channel or our Facebook page and click on the Make It Fun Week 1 video. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.